this is just the Rustler stuff. But yeah, look how worn out it is.
Rustler Revival. Yeah, but this is like wow pre-enjoyed, isn't it? Oh, chocolate as well. I've got some...
I know how we roll. Do I need a coaster? I feel like I should have a coaster on here.
No, it's got a...
Oh, so you've already put the motor in, the lossy motor.
Yeah.
That's long.
That's really
the motor
cool.
protector doesn't protect it.
Useful tip. If you put a... I don't know if it is lossy, is it? It's just a fused dynamo thing. But the mounting holes are the same as the Traxxas mounting holes.
Oh, that's cool.
So every other car manufacturer, that's now the new standard. Make all speed controllers with that size holes on, and make all chassis with that size holes on. And then it makes fitting them really bloody easy.
Sweet. I've got a little tripod on me.
I'll have a couple of this now because it's a shadow on me.
Is it already recording then?
Yep.
Oh, fair enough. Today we are doing a revival of my Rustler Nokia, and Paul's doesn't need much of a revival, but he's fitting a lossy motor that was in the barge array.
Chocolate's a quiet bit.
Because it's a whisper. So this one is currently a mixture of stock parts and RPM parts, because we ended up with two of these. We had the spare parts dragster and Nokia, my old tough Rustler. And as mine got more and more wore out, I kept nicking spares, so this is sort of a combination of bits of Nokia, bits of the spare parts Rustler, but it's seen better days. I've robbed bits to keep it alive where I had no money. I blew up the electrics, and yeah, she needs a good refresh, so we're going RPM front to back. We'll show you a few of the little tricks we've done, like the 1/8 shocks.
I'll take the wheels off.
Taking the wheels off. They're going to 17mm adapters with 1/8 buggy wheels on. Aha! 1/8 buggy size, which are about the same rolling radius, but a lot thinner, and because there's not quite as much sidewall, they're a bit stiffer, they can't balloon as bad. Hopefully they work out well, and they won't be so hard on the dips.
But also, these are designed to be going fast, aren't they?
Yeah, and they're easy to clean, which is always good. These catch no end of sort of garbage. These were designed in the early 90s. I mean, there's Rustlers out there that could have a family and be homeowners now. Last time this was out, I can't remember how, mostly my driving, it went flat out into a concrete wall, like a World War II anti-aircraft gun wall. It's designed to be tough, and the electrics just stopped dead. Yes!
VV on power.
Rear bulkhead, servo, used bulkhead, slipper clutch from that gearbox.
So we've got a replacement servo.
Hub adapters.
Spare gearbox for faffing around with at the moment. Hub adapters. Some bits, some more there.
And just some general gubbins really. I can't even remember, I've got so much stuff scattered about.
So you've got some rear arms as well.
Yeah, they got destroyed by errant drive shafts screwing them up. Front body mounts, because my ones are like nearly worn through the post holes, so I'll make those spares for a while.
Spare front body mounts. Replaced with motor protector.
Another comparison is this is a stock width front arm, and we both on our Rustlers now run the wide front arms, and as you can see it adds.
That looks really long.
It's stock. Stops there. So it adds a decent bit of length, and what happens then, that squares up your arms from front to rear rather than the usual narrow and wide setup. Then you can run 4 of the same offset wheels, because as stock Rustlers come with low offset ones at the back, high offset ones at the front. It makes the whole Rustler that much wider and more stable, and I think it's the best single mod you can do on one of these. And you just run rear camber links on the front, slightly longer steering arms, done. It's a very simple modification, but it's very, very good. So I think...
Front bumper.
Yeah, again, just to make it all green and fancy.
And a slash rear bumper.
Well, it's listed for the Rustler.
It all fits the same thing.
Yeah, I think they all do the same stuff, but...
A bit more protection around its fun.
The wheelie bar's pointless, always got hung up, but I want to avoid landing on that all the time. You know what I'm like with my spares. That's how we end up with 2 Rustlers to start with. This, although this front clip is technically okay, this bulkhead's got quite a lot of play in the arms there, so I'm going to swap it out for that one because it's just better.
Yeah.
So the rear end rebuild has gone that way. That's too big.
You want this one?
So there we are, fairly quickly into a rebuild process. We've got as bare bones as you can possibly get. That is just the chassis and nothing more. You get stickers with everything with RPM.
Yay, stickers.
Stickers. Right, so that is new bulkhead installed, new steering servo installed. Good, good. So let's put the suspension pins back on.
Okay.
I actually bought these wide arms on my honeymoon in America. I dragged my wife, who we been married for 4 days, and I dragged her to a model shop in a different continent. But I went out to Singapore, walking around trying to clear my mind, found a model shop. So that's 3 continents I've been in model shops on now. That's quite an achievement. In fact, every continent I've ever been on, I've been to a model shop. The model shop's on the 2nd floor of this 8-floor thing. The 6 floors above it are all brothels. Well, that's like, you know, yeah, it's like I'll spend my money on oh man, come on! I'm not even going to start on run times. Or if it's a bang good. So, 17mm hub converters to run what's commonly going to be a 1/8 wheel. And you have the hex inside. Goes over. Man, those are soft. You felt how soft those are. The wheels sit over. Why is it I'm trying to demonstrate it and I've got like the fiddliest bit in the world? Right, screw that, edit all that out. We'll start again. 12mm hex secures with that onto the existing wheel threads. 17mm hex then there. One big wheel nut like that. So that's your 17mm conversion. You just check the bearings before we do it. Still go round, job done. They're pretty tough. I haven't broken one yet.
I did.
Yeah, Paul did.
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Oh, we'll have to deans it up as well. So it still can't run it yet. So I won't put it on yet.
Well, you just have a different battery and test it.
Yeah, all that. Those screws, they always put out. It's really annoying. Right. We've got some lights on stuff. Cool.
So after a serious camera malfunction, this is now finished.
So under the shell, the first main change that we've done is a hard cover. Yeah, it is sort of another shell. We've had to modify this to clear the fan because it had 3 louvers in which hit the Volinian fan where it's really tall. RPM wide bumper, RPM bulkhead, the wide front arms, which hopefully you've got a comparison of from earlier on. Way more stability, square up the car, you can run 4 of the same wheel. Then got stock front shocks, it's never really had any problems with these. RPM guards, RPM shock tower, RPM body mounts. These say rear on, it's because when you do the wide arm conversion you need longer camber links. TRX alloy sort of hub carriers and steering. 17mm adapters, and we switched from the large Stampede monster truck wheels to a narrower, lighter 17mm hex buggy wheel. Beefy sort of metal geared JX servo in there. Moving to the back end, I'll go from the back in. We've got this really cool RPM bumper, sort of adds a bit of a slash look, but it really sits nicely in the back of the shell there. RPM wheelie bar slash bumper mount. We've got the Volinian motor, 32 pitch gearing, so these are standard, come with a fine 48 pitch gear. If you buy these Revo ones, they fit straight on, they're a lot more durable. don't really sort of wear out as quickly. Cheapo, but good enough drive shafts. Again, RPM, RPM, RPM. Got the adapters again. RPM shock tower. Big, massive, but again, we've packed the stuff away to compare it with. But big 1/8 beefy shocks with little custom standoffs. I'm really looking forward to giving it a bash. We can then compare it to Paul's Rustler, a Slash LCG chassis, because Paul managed to break his chassis, and this is a cool swap out. We got an RPM bumper, again the wide arm conversion, alloy steering gear, which mine doesn't have. I've got the stock plastic stuff. Then got the Ultra shocks. The main thing on Paul's is that powertrain has come from the delightful Lossy Bargeret, which is currently residing on its nose over here.
Hiding.
That's now Mamba Monster powered, and we'll reveal more of that later. So we've got a whacking great 550 can, big 5mm shaft on that, awaiting a gear. I didn't think you could get 48 pitch 5mm shaft gears.
You can.
You can. That's
Luckily.
an obscure market, I'm sure. Same drive shafts and motor protector. These are perfectly quick on 2S. They've got unusable power on 3S. But yeah, the 4S capability in this is going to be insane. Looking forward to doing some more bashage, big style. I'll do. Subscribe to us if you aren't already, please. And on Facebook, which you never mention, facebook.com/M&P, as in the words, the letter M, ANDP, RC. So yeah, thank you very much. Cool. Let's lock and load.